Hello friends, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're all having a great day. Today's video is going to be a question and answer. Many of you through my Instagram stories asked questions, so I'm going to answer them. This video probably will not be a short video, so get yourself a drink, a snack, maybe a blanket and a pillow because it could go all night. It could really go all night. And I think this is a great time for me to be doing a question and answer. I know many people are doing them right now because I have so many new subscribers. So first I want to say welcome to all of you. I have a wonderful community here. The comment section is always on the positive, and that's what we love here. All right, my friends, so welcome to everyone that's new, and we are going to get started because, you know, I'll just go off on a tangent someplace else. All right, first question. I've been watching you for years. Where can we send you things just to say thanks? I don't need you to send me anything. The thanks you give me is the time you take out of your day to watch my videos. That means so much to me. I'm nobody here. I'm absolutely nobody. And yet you choose to tune into me every single time I put a video up. That's all that matters to me. I need nothing sent to me, my friends, but I so appreciate your very generous offer. But just keep on watching me, and that's all the thanks I need. The next question is, are you guys living permanently in Florida now? Believe it or not, number one question. Okay. So our plan was to be snowbirds. We were going to come November until April, and then we were going to spend the summers back in New York. Well, as you all know, coronavirus hit and everything went into lockdown. So we couldn't go home as planned. And as time has gone by, we chose to stay put here in Florida because we didn't really think traveling, even when they did open back up, was really a good idea until we get a grip on this or totally understand what's going on. Because you hear so many different things that, you know, I think everybody's just trying to figure everything out, but it should be taken serious. So we ended up staying here, and I have mentioned in previous videos, Lou retired in New York, but when we came down here, he is now teaching at the college. With his classes starting in August, we have decided to stay. We were going to go home in July for 11 days just to have our doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, you know, all the things that we have not yet established here in Florida. But, and please don't misunderstand what I'm going to say next. Some people took it as me being flippant or not taking the coronavirus serious. Are you kidding me? I wear a mask everywhere. I sanitize up the yin-yang. I don't really go anywhere. We haven't been out publicly to eat in months. I mean, I go to the grocery store, I'll go to Home Goods every now and then because, you know, they're still letting only so many people in the store. And that was just to kind of free my mind up. I mean, come on, we're going nuts here. But anyway, so don't take this next statement to mean anything other than what it is. We had planned to go home in July. We were waiting to see what Governor Cuomo was going to do about quarantining people. I'm not saying he shouldn't or he should. I'm saying we were waiting to see what happened because we were only home for 11 days. That's all the time that we could give to going back to New York before Lou has to start teaching or getting his class schedule together. So when he quarantined for 14 days, we don't have 25 days because we would have to fly in and quarantine for 14 days, and then we could go to our appointments and stuff, which stretched over a 10-day period. So that would mean we would need 25 days, and then because I'm a worrier, I really don't want to leave the dogs in a kennel that long, and we didn't really want to drive home because I'm not good at driving, and that's a lot on Lou, and to go and stay in a public hotel during these times wasn't really something that we wanted to do. So we are now staying here until maybe October. We're still, again, going to wait to see what the coronavirus does and how each state gets it under control. But that's where we're at right now. But we still have our home in Florida, and our plan is to be snowbirds here for one more season and then go back to New York and spend the summer there. We have a lot of family and friends. We have unfinished business there. So there are things that will take us back there. But all right, I hope that answers the question. And we are loving it here. We love it. Absolutely love it. All right, so the next question, what was your skincare when you were in your 20s? I know many of you won't believe this. When I was in my 20s, it was soap and water, and I think we used back then, we might have used Ivory or Safeguard, I don't remember, but that's what I washed my face with. Whatever I took a bath or shower with, that's what I washed my face with. My moisturizer was Oil of Olay in the pink bottle and the white cap, and that was my skincare, as well as sleeping in my makeup. Yep, sometimes I would even do that. But in my 30s, everything changed. Absolutely everything changed. I have never, ever been a sun worshiper, and I am so grateful for that now, because smoking, I did smoke, but I haven't smoked in 31, 32 years, something like that. So that did damage, believe it or not, but I never really baked in the sun, so I don't have a lot of sun damage, which I'm grateful for. I think the lip lines, I think they're from smoking. Yes, I do. But that is such a gross habit to me now. Anyway, next question. Do you like luxury watches, and would you ever consider wearing a Rolex? I think luxury watches are beautiful. I think that probably every woman needs one, especially if she's someone who socializes and goes to fancy schmancy things all the time. I'm not one of those people. I have always loved oversized, almost masculine watches. And that's what I have always worn. I've always worn a lady's watch, but they've always been more masculine and larger. But would I wear a Rolex? If the company sent me one, I would wear it. I wouldn't turn it down. I think there are nicer luxury watches out there, but a Rolex is a beautiful watch. I have many friends that wear a Rolex, and I think they're all real. I'm not sure, because you can get a pretty good fake Rolex, can't you? Yep, these days you can get pretty good fake anything. But I have no objections to wearing a luxury watch or a beautiful watch, but my preference is to wear a casual watch. That's just the way I've always been. So, but I don't think there's anything wrong with someone who does wear them. Next one, is a base coat necessary? Talking about nails. I feel a base coat is necessary, especially with age, when our nails change, when we get more ridges, our nails become dehydrated. Wonderful things happen with menopause, and that's being sarcastic. Wonderful things do not happen to the nails and the skin with menopause. But do I think it is important? I think it's especially important if you are someone who wears dark nail polishes. A base coat can help protect your nails. I also think that if you're someone who does a lot of filing on your fingernails, and to get those ridges out, you have to be careful, because you almost polish your nails then. And then it's very hard for any nail polish to actually adhere to your nail base. So that's when a base coat also will come in handy, because it will adhere to the base coat, although the base coat will still struggle to adhere to your fingernail because you've polished it so much. So get out of that habit. If you are someone who has a very hard time with nail polish staying, get out of that. If you're really buffing with a file to get those ridges out, you're actually creating the problem yourself. But I do feel a base coat is necessary for long wear and for protecting your nails from stains. Next one. This one here was asking about Florida, but also asked, do you miss up north? You know, I do. I miss our home up there. We have 25 years of memories in that home. I miss most about, I miss my friends, I miss my family, I miss familiar places. I miss going into the hair store or my Sephora or the Ulta, and I know this will happen with time down here as well, but I miss going in and engaging with those people. I miss going to my Wegmans and seeing a familiar cashier and then having a little chat with her while she's ringing up my groceries. I miss that. I miss our neighborhood restaurants that we love so much. And I miss, even though I'm very much a loner, my friends. I like to do things by myself. I like to go grocery shopping by myself. I like to go for clothes shopping. I like to do a lot of things myself. That's not to say I'm antisocial, because I'm a very social person, but I miss knowing that if I wanted to do something with someone, they're just a call away. And again, I know those things will all happen here in Florida eventually when we're here I'll make new friends and I'll become very familiar with places, but that's what I miss the most. I don't miss winter. I don't miss winter at all. But when you have been born and raised in a place, it's very hard to break away. So that's what I miss, everything that just says home to me. But this is our home now, and I will make it my home, and I will create the same thing I had up north. Okay? Anything about getting rid of cellulite? I love your blog. Well, thank you very much. Cellulite. Now, I am someone who has cellulite. I have cellulite in my arms. I have cellulites in my butt and in my thighs and in the front of my knees. Now, this is something that genetically my sisters and brothers and my mother have all had. And they had it for most of their life. Now, are there things that you can do? No cream, my friend, no cream. I've used them all. The cheap ones, the expensive ones, the in-between, the French ones, the whatever. I have used them all, and none of them do anything except make the appearance of the skin look better. But nothing is going to get rid of it if it's in your genetics. It's just not going to. So don't waste your money on cellulite creams, because I wasted my money for you and they don't work. Okay? All right, next thing. What are you eating these days to keep weight off during quarantine? I didn't keep weight off during quarantine because I learned a lot about myself during quarantine. And I learned a lot about Lou during quarantine. He can occupy his mind with other things. Me, I go stir crazy if I don't have something to do with my hands. I just go stir crazy. I'm not the type of person that can sit down and just read a book all day, and I have to force myself to do those things. I'm always popping up doing something. Even when we're watching TV, I'm like a bunny rabbit. I'll say to him, "Oh, pause it," and I just want to go and get the clothes in from the washing machine to the dryer, or I just want to go load the dishwasher and turn it on, or I'm going to go and whatever. I'm just one of those people, and I don't necessarily think it's a good thing, because I think we all have to learn how to relax, and I'm not real good at that, but I did not keep weight off during quarantine. I'm just like everybody else because boredom set in. I was eating things I never eat. I swear, if I opened the pantry and there was some uncooked pasta there, I might crunch on it a little bit. Yeah, let's see how that tastes. I didn't, but that's how bad it was. So for me, I'm struggling to get the couple of pounds off that I put on. But I will say that Lou and I, we kept up with our exercising. I gained maybe 2-3 pounds. I didn't gain a lot of weight. I didn't gain the COVID-19 like people joke, but I know a lot of people did. And Lou didn't gain any weight either. But we continued to exercise. We continued to walk outside. When they shut everything down, I went to Target and bought weights for the house and bands so that we could continue working out, because that's important. That's a part of who I am, to work out, and Lou as well. So, I gained, my friends. I went a little crazy with the snacking and overeating. Even healthy food, you have to be careful. You can't overeat healthy food either. So I'm no different from any of you, but I'm right back on track now, and I've already lost some of it. But I do think it's because we continue to exercise during the shutdown. Okay, the next one is, how do you keep a positive attitude about the aging process? I find it difficult at times. I don't think there's a person on this earth that says it's not difficult. For me, the aging process, when I start to look in the mirror, because I still look in the mirror and I say, oh my God, look at all this down here. It's really starting to sag. I'm starting to notice, my neck. My neck has been pretty good for a very long time, but I'm starting to notice things. But, I notice the elbow, the skin sagging. I notice here I have loose skin. None of this is enjoyable, but there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about it. So I just choose to focus on my health. I'm very healthy, and I just try to keep a positive attitude, because if you keep the positive attitude and you also tell yourself, I'm more than this, I'm more than the outer shell, I am a good person, I have a good heart, And those are the things you have to really focus on, because with age, no one doesn't age. We all, beauty fades. You have to remember, we're not getting any younger. Do we really want to waste time dwelling on something we really can't change? I mean, outside of all the exercising I do, what am I going to do about this? There's nothing I can do about this, because I'm not going to surgically go and have a tricep lift or anything like that. You know, my elbows, I just keep lubing them up, but they're getting old looking. And I see my mother happening, but I choose to live life because I'm the type of person, I'm not going to live with regrets. I just am not going to live with regrets. And for me to focus on the outer shell of me would be depressing to me, because, you know, I look at my skin, it's crepey now. I'm starting to see age spots all over. So I just focus on the good things in my life. I truly do. And that's not to say that some days I don't get down and say, oh, I just feel so ugly. Because I'm human. People feel unattractive from time to time. And I think it happens more to women with age than it does when we're younger, or to men. I really do. Okay, next one. Can you give tips on travel during COVID if you have traveled? Okay, so we have not traveled, as I mentioned, but we have traveled to the grocery stores and back. And I took it very serious, my friends. I wore a mask. I have sanitizer. I have a small bottle of pure alcohol that's, I think it's 92%. A small bottle I carry with me. I don't care if they have sanitized the carts or not. I go ahead and spritz that cart down with my own alcohol. And at one point I was wearing gloves because I just did not want to touch things, but I was carrying wipes with me at the time, and every time I would touch something, I would wipe the gloves off. I'm no longer wearing the gloves. I just make sure I'm really sanitizing. If we fly in the next coming months, we will wear a mask. I think it's mandatory that you have to wear a mask on an airplane. And I know some people have very strong feelings about masks. I'm not telling you wear your mask or not. I'm wearing my mask. Lou is wearing his mask. That's what we are doing for us. Just to be safe, because like I said, you're getting all kinds of different stories from all different news, mainstream media. We don't know what to believe anymore. So you just have to be safe and not sorry. So if I'm traveling on an airplane, I will have wipes with me, and I will wipe everything down on the plane. I don't care if they sanitize it in between each flight. Peace of mind, I am going to sanitize. I am using alcohol. Anything that's over 70% for me is acceptable over bleach, because you know, they did come out with some things that alcohol is actually better at killing the germs than the Clorox wipes. So although I'm loaded for bear with the Clorox too, because I got lucky at Costco the other day and they had a big 4-pack of the Clorox. I've ordered a lot of alcohol online because you can't find it locally anywhere. So if you're going on a plane, a train, a bus, I suggest you wear your mask and you wipe down everything where you sit. I don't think they're doing any kind of drink services on the planes right now. They've stopped all that. But I won't be ordering a drink because I do not know how someone else is taking care of themselves. And that's just me, my friends. So that's what I would do if I have to travel during these times. But we have to live our lives. But there's no reason to not be smart living your life, okay? Okay, so how did you meet Lou? I've told this story before on my YouTube channel. I was selling Mercedes, and Lou came in to test drive one, and it was a pre-owned vehicle, and he wanted to deal with, well, he actually was going to deal with someone else, but he didn't show up for work that day, so they gave him to me. And he came for the weekend. He took the car for the weekend, and when he came back, he said, I want to buy it. I said, okay, we got it all ready for him. He called me the day of delivery. He said, I can't get there. Can someone come and pick me up? I said, I can come and pick you up and then do delivery here. So I picked him up, and it was about a 25-minute drive. And in that 25-minute drive, I knew, my friends, this is my man. This is the man that I'm going to live the rest of my life with. I just knew it. And while we were driving, having conversation, I kept thinking to myself, why doesn't a nice man like this ever ask me out? I dated really nice men, but none were like Lou. None. He completed me. He absolutely fulfilled everything that was missing in my life. I'm not the type of person that gives my happiness to someone else. I create my own happiness, and then the people that I let into my life contribute to my happiness. They are not my joy. They are part of my joy. And he completed me. And I thought, you know, I just never get this lucky. Never. And he was thinking the same thing. This is a really nice woman. This is a really nice girl. So when he took delivery and we were all finished, he asked me out. And you're not going to believe, this is what I said to him. I was so shocked. I said, yeah, you know where to find me. That was my answer. And luckily, he never forgot how to find me. And that was it. And that was 25 years ago. And my last breath, I hope, is looking in the man's eyes. Okay. All right. So that is that question. Now, best anti-aging procedure you've tried. I have done no anti-aging procedures. I've done nothing professionally outside of, I had laser on my lip. They asked me if they could do it because they wanted to see if the treatment would work on people's lip lines. It did absolutely nothing. So outside of that, I've had no microdermabrasion. I had a hydrofacial, and it was okay, but that may have been the maybe the operator. I mean, she was very, very good, but I hear other people talk about, you know, different things that go on during their hydrofacial, and I'm thinking, that was not my hydrofacial. But anyway, it was a very nice facial, but for me, that, you know, you're really, they do a little bit of microdermabrasion, and then they really just saturate the skin with a lot of good serums, growth factors, and things like that. But as far as procedures, I've never had any surgery on my face, and I will never have surgery on my face. I can say that with absolute, unless something happened that disfigured me, a car accident or something like that. But I'm afraid of any kind of surgeries. I will never have an elective surgery. I'm not saying other people shouldn't. I look at some people and I think, ooh, that looks really good. Like they told me, this is fat pockets for me. That's the only thing that can get rid of this puffiness is surgery, to remove the fat pockets. No filler, no Botox, nothing is going to work to help me here. That is something that I need surgery for. I am not having surgery on it. So you will always be looking at my puffiness, okay? And the more volume I lose, they probably will get worse. So, but I just can't see it in my future. It's not who I am. So no procedures. But however, I want to make this very clear. I think if you want a procedure, you want to go have surgery, you want a butt lift, you want breast, you want whatever you want, you do what makes you happy and fills you with joy. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks, not even me. It's just not for me. Or I would have had breasts put in a long time ago, my friends. Yes, I would have. But it's just not for me because I'm a big chicken, okay? Some might think I'm really smart, but I'm a chicken, okay? So I've had no procedures, my friends, none. And I know many don't believe me, but there's nothing I can do. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink, my friends, okay? Next question. What are your favorite cleaning products? Do you have a regular cleaning day of the week? Yes, Monday is my cleaning day of the week because garbage day is Tuesday. So I want to make sure that I've gathered up all the garbage from all of the bathrooms and stuff and anything that I may have trashed up here or, you know, whatever. But so Monday is my deep clean day. Lou is usually golfing. And it's just the way I've always been. Monday has always just been... I don't want to do it on the weekend because the weekends, even though I'm not somebody that really knows how to relax, the weekends I don't want to be scrubbing and cleaning and all that. I deep clean once a week and I spot clean every day. I vacuum every day because I have dogs, although my dogs are not shedders. They just leave out little dust bunnies everywhere. You'll see little mounds look like they're in the desert. You know, so and because they are both blonde and our floors are light, I don't always see it. So I just do it daily just to make sure that I'm getting everything cleaned up. This home, for some reason, is a little dusty. So I also give a quick wipe down to our wood tables and things like that because I can't stand to see it. And the sun shining in, it really is there. Laundry, sheets and stuff done once a week. I make my bed every day, that kind of stuff. And I wipe down the counters. every day, but just quick clean. My deep clean is on Mondays. My favorite cleaning products, I try to do non-toxic for me and because of the girls. Because dogs, their sense of smell and the way they take things in, it's so much more than us humans. So I really try to stay non-toxic, and a brand I do like is BioClean, but so far I've only been able to find the bathroom cleaner. I do like the method, but not all of their scents. I think they're a bit harsh, but I do like the fact that they don't have a lot of chemicals in them. I'll use Gain laundry detergent because it's the only one that doesn't irritate loose skin. And I've tried them all. And I am so sensitive to smell that I can tell you what kind of laundry detergent you use. And some, they're so strong to me that they actually make me nauseous. It's worse than perfume on a woman. And usually that's Tide. I'm very, very, very sensitive to Tide, and I don't know why. But I have a couple of friends and a sister that uses Tide, and it's really hard for me to stand next to them. But I never say anything. Well, I just did on YouTube now, so they know. Anyway, so yeah, that I do all my own cleaning. Lou always tells me you need to get a cleaning lady. And I just don't. I did have someone back in New York. She would come once every 2 or 3 weeks because my wrist, when I had carpal tunnel, was really bothering me. And she would come and do the scrubbing of the shower and stuff like that for me. But I always cleaned with her. If she was upstairs, I was doing downstairs. But when it came time to do the scrubbing or wiping down counters or washing the floor, she did. I'm the type of person I like on your hands and knees washing a floor versus pushing the dirt around with a mop. Which I do, okay? I do, because I can't get down on my knees anymore. So, and it takes me a very long time to clean. I used to be able to do the house when I was younger. I used to be able to do the house all in one day. It took me all day. Lou would leave in the morning, I'd start, and by the time he'd get home, I'd just be finishing. And as I aged, my body can't do that anymore. So I just do a little bit at a time now, but I am a spot cleaner during the week and 1 day a week deep cleaner. Now this one gets asked a lot, and sometimes I wonder, is this a hater or are you being serious? And I love you. I do. I love you because you comment all the time, and I think you're a young boy. I think you're a young man, I should say. But I also get the exact same question from different channel names. So I don't know, but I think, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going to tell you the truth here. So here's the question. Can you consider letting your long hair grow to Rapunzel length? Now on my channel, I know that I have many haters of my long hair because I am 60. And some people believe that women should not wear their hair long once they hit the age of 40. I do not believe that at all for so many reasons. I do believe that you have to keep your hair healthy. Now, am I going to grow my hair down to my knees or my ankles? No, that's a little ridiculous for me. My hair is very long right now. Usually, I get my hair cut to where my bra strap hits in the back. That's as long as my hair ever is. Right now, my hair is down to my waist, a little bit further, because we were in lockdown. My hair grows like a weed. It grows really fast and even faster in Florida. I think it's all the vitamin D I get from the sun. Because in the north, I lack vitamin D and I've had to be on prescription strength. Down here, I can't wait to have my blood work done for that reason. Down here, my hair grows like a weed, my friends. I mean, I colored it 2 weeks ago and I already have to cover it because, I mean, I got a lot of regrowth there. So, but am I going to grow it down to my ankles or my knees or even past my butt? No, I'm not. I love long hair, but I'm not a character, my friends. I'm not. And I know so many people disagree with women having long hair. I say, live your own life, whatever brings you joy. Me having long hair is not hurting anyone in this world. Lou likes my hair long. I like my hair long. Actually, I'm the type of person, I like to be able to just pull it in a ponytail and be on with it. I mean, I think a lot of people think I coiffed it every day. I don't. My hair, it will go in a ponytail. This is simply a blow dry. That is it. I'm going to color it today, and then it's going to go in a ponytail, and that's where it's going to probably be all week until I do another video. All right? So no Rapunzel length for me, my friends. No. What is a good primer? For me, I've had to change my primer here in Florida because my skin is not as dry on my face. My body is still very dry, but my face is not as dry. So for me, I need to focus on a blurring primer because my pores are a little aged. They're old. They're getting tired of holding themselves up. So I have to use a blurring primer, and the one I like from like a department store is I like the Pat McGrath Sublime Blurring Primer. I also like the Tarte Putty. In the drugstore, I like the Revlon primer. It's in a pink, a short squatty bottle, and it's pink. They have two formulas. The pink one is the one I like. That works well on the pores, and I also like Elf's Putty. And what I do is I put the primer on the face, and then the putty I kind of push into the pore area and the T-zone area. I just think it blurs out a little bit better. I also absolutely love the Becca Skin Love primer. I use that one on a daily basis. It kind of just gives me a fresh water feel on my skin, but it does do some blurring. So I really like those. Favorite essential oil? Well, that all depends, my friend. If I'm diffusing on my cleaning day and every day, I pretty much diffuse essential oils. I'm really funny. If I've cooked something the night before and I can smell it when I get up in the morning, oh, I can't stand that. I can't stand to have a house that smells like fish. The other day I baked sweet potatoes in the oven, and I wrapped them in foil, had them on a pan, but they were big sweet potatoes, and they release a lot of sugar when they cook, and it almost turns like a syrup on the pan. And the syrup was burning before the potatoes were done. The smell was awful. So I have to get that out of there, and I'm not an aerosol sprayer. I prefer to diffuse, and I prefer diffusing over candles. But for diffusing, if you're with Young Living, I love the Peace and Harmony. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I also like their purification. But if you are not a part of that, because you have to be a member and buy, and they're expensive, but they're very good oils. And I also, in my kitchen, I love to diffuse. I have a little blend that I do of lemon, lime, lavender, and rosemary, and it makes a beautiful kitchen scent. I mean, Lou walks in and he's like, oh, it smells so good in here. And then for the bedroom, I like lavender. My bathroom, I like bright smelling. Because they're just uplifting. Essential oils are just uplifting if they're bright. But if I'm doing for my body or for skincare, I have always liked carrot because it's a natural form of vitamin A, and you just put a little teeny bit in with your oil or your cream and you apply it, and it can act as a vitamin A. It's going to take a lot longer. It's not going to work like Retin A, but I do like that one. But there is one for menopause that's also with Young Living. It is called Endoflex, and that really helped me. Now it didn't help with the bad mamma jamma hot flashes, but it did help me on a daily basis, I do believe. And I just mixed it with oil, and I do it underneath my arms, and it smells really minty and fresh, and it's a nice smell. And then I would rub it on my abdomen. And I really do think that it made a little bit of a difference. It wasn't the end all, but if you're struggling and you're part of Young Living, you might want to try their Endoflex. But I love essential oils, absolutely love them. Frankincense, I just love them all, absolutely. I've been using essential oils for over 20 years. I love them. What is a good powder foundation for mature skin? I'm going to say none. Mineral powder is probably better for you than a powder foundation unless you're extremely oily. For me, not being oily, and I will tell you, for many, many, many years, my most favorite foundation was Lancome's Dual Finish Powder Foundation. I loved it, loved it, loved it. Back when I didn't have to spritz my face at the end because, you know, I didn't need to take away that powdery look. I loved the flawless finish it gave. Absolutely beautiful. But age hit me and it was not so beautiful on me anymore. So then I changed to mineral powders, but you have to be careful with the mineral powders because if you put them on too heavy, you can get a waxy buildup, and then that you're looking like a waxy mature person then. And also with the powder foundations, I find, because I have tried them, I've tried to wear them with age, and one was It Cosmetics, horrible on me, and the Dual Finish, horrible on me. So then I tried to spritz them, and when you spritz those, they get a waxy feel to them as well. So I don't like that look for me. You may like that look. I don't like the wax figure look at all. Mineral foundation with a the Real Technique powder brush is a good applicator for that. But you have to really, I've shown how to use mineral powders in the past. It's not something you just dip the brush into and slap it on your face. That's too much. It is something you dip your brush into, you work it into the fibers of the brush, you tap it off, and then you buff your skin. That is the proper way to apply a mineral foundation. And then, because it will give you the powder coverage, but it does give you a little glow. But if you're asking for a powder foundation, I got a feeling you're somebody who's trying to get rid of the shine. So, I really don't have an answer for you. I'm so sorry, because I don't think they work much for aging women. Okay, have you ever traveled internationally before? If so, where? Any favorite places? Lou and I have not traveled internationally. We've traveled to a lot of the islands because when Lou was practicing medicine, he would have to keep up his you have to get so many credited hours of learning throughout throughout the year, and that's how he would get them. We would go to medical conferences, but we never really. That's the only time we ever traveled. That's one of the reasons why we bought a home down here, because we would never travel because neither one of us really likes to fly. Lou less than me. I've gotten better with it the more I do it, and he has too. But if I were to travel, I would, I've always wanted to go to Australia, Spain, Italy, and if I were going to go to Paris, it would be with Joelle. We've actually talked about going on a world cruise. I get a little motion sickness, so we weren't sure how that would play into it. We were going to try to do some cruises to see how I would do with them. And we did one, and I did okay. I didn't do great. But with COVID, I doubt we'll be taking a cruise for a very long time. And then the world cruise kind of stopped anyway because we got the girls, and they're only 3. We can't leave them for a world cruise. So I don't know if we will, when and if we will do any European travel. I did enjoy the islands, St. Thomas, St. Martin, Aruba, all of those. I'd like to see Hawaii too. I really would. There's a lot of places I'd like to see. Still use a Dermaroller? If so, how often, and do you see a real difference? I have a very, very good video on Dermaroller. With my skin changing with menopause, it's extremely sensitive now, so I can't really use the Dermaroller anymore. If you are using a deeper needle, that should not be used more than once, maybe every 6, 7, 8 weeks. If you are using a very small, the shortest of needles, you're doing it like around your lips, or you're doing it for hair loss, you can do that daily. But there are steps that you must follow to protect your skin. There are ways to use the roller. There are ways to lift it up, stop and start. So maybe you should be looking at my Dermaroller video because it's probably one of the most thorough on YouTube. I'm very proud of the video. I really, really put everything I had into that video because it needs to be done correctly or it's not safe. Okay? What is your #1 workhouse serum? If I could use Retin A, that would be it. But because I can't, I'm very sensitive to it. I love my vitamin C Ferulix. I like it because it's a good antioxidant, and also because it actually does work at reversing some of the damage we do, and it also helps your sunscreen work better. Vitamin C usually stays on the skin for about 72 hours, so it's a really good serum. Another one that I absolutely love is CoQ10. I just think it gives my skin a really good bounce. I love using it. Another great antioxidant for the face. But if you can use Retin A, why wouldn't you? I can't use it. Consider doing a made in the US video? Yes, I would. I'm an American. I love supporting the USA, of course. I've actually, stepped back from, I read labels where things are from. I really do. Have you ever tried Ageless? I have used their cleansing balm. I think I've used some of their other products. They didn't wow me, but it's interesting that you should ask me this because my niece went on a cruise. She had a facial with the Ageless and bought the whole line, and it broke her skin out, so she gave it all to me. So it is in my skincare drawer to be used. So who knows, I might fall in love with it, like you have, obviously, because you said love. Do you use special lighting when doing videos, and what made you start? When there is no sunlight, right, today's video is all sunlight. Just sunlight coming in from my doors. I have my shutters now so I can open them to give me just the right amount of light that I need. But when it is rainy and overcast and I am forced to turn the lights on, because for many years this is all I used was my lights, but they distort things a little bit. Like you can probably see this better, my wrinkles better with the natural sunlight. But everything else is truer to color. But I do have 2 soft boxes right here. I have a Diva Beauty ring here. I have another soft box here that shines light on the back to brighten things up. But I am only going to be using that unless you don't like this lighting, and I think this lighting is pretty good. But I am only going to be using that when I am recording when the sun is not out or it's darker, which I never record at night. I'm an early morning bird. That's me. Yep. Can you recommend a night cream that truly works? No. Save your money. None of them work. I have used so many of them, and they do not work. I have not tried the Revision neck cream, which a lot of people say works, but I just suggest exfoliate, mask, serum, everything you do to your face, do to your neck. Keep it out of the sun, protect it. I do believe that the Nuface, that is my most favorite tool that I own. I do believe that the Nuface has helped to keep my neck in check. I am noticing age on my neck now, but again, I'm going to be 61 in November. It is what it is, my friends. I can only make it look the best it's going to look at this age, okay? Please talk about menopause. I have a whole video on menopause. I was one of those women that suffered terrible with menopause for 2-3 years maybe. I had hives. I had every single symptom there was to have. I got it. And I'm happy to say that today I barely get a hot flash. I barely have night sweats. I'm getting headaches. That's the only thing I get is a little bit of headaches. But that could be because I haven't had my breakfast yet, So I do have a video on that. And it pretty much talks about everything that I've gone through. And in my videos, I always mention it. I also went through menopause later in life. So they say that's better for the heart, but you usually end up with worse symptoms. I don't know if that's true. Do you regret not having children? I apologize if it's too personal. I don't think regret is the word I would use. When I was aging, 40 was the hardest year for me because I realized at that point I was never going to give birth to my own child. I did have a miscarriage, but it just never happened for me, my friends, and I was okay with that. I believe that everything in our life happens for a reason. I think there were just other plans for me. And I think because of the worrier I am, I think God was actually doing me a favor because I would probably worry so much about my children. The only part that I would say regret is a word I would use is that Lou and I don't have children and grandchildren in our future. Most people, if your children, turn out the way you hope they turn out, they have their children to care for them when they get older. Lou and I don't have that. We do have nieces and nephews, but we're all over the place, and they'll be taking care of their mother, not mine, not me, and their father, not Lou. So that is the only area I would use regret. But I do think I would have been a fabulous mama. Except I would have killed myself with worry. What are your most favorite makeup and face products to buy at Walmart and Target? I love Revlon. I love L'Oreal mascaras. Revlon lipsticks are my best. I buy a lot of Revlon. I have bronzers. I don't have any blush, but I have bronzers, foundation. My favorite foundations are L'Oreal. My favorite mascaras are L'Oreal. Love the Millennial Primer. My favorite lipsticks, Drugstore, are Revlon and Milani. I love to buy Milani. And Milani I buy at Walmart. That's not at Target. I don't think it's at Target. It might be. I haven't checked. Elf sponges I like to buy. What else? Real Technique brushes come from there. Sonia Kashuk sponges and brushes are really nice from Target. I buy my La Roche-Posay from Target. What else? Walmart, I would have to say it's the Milani. Walmart actually gets things in before Target. So I do have a tendency to go in there more, looking for things when they're in a new release. But then, Target is just convenient for me because it's closer than Walmart. So yeah, that's what I buy from Walmart and Target. I buy a lot of things from Target. Lots of things from Target. All my cleaning supplies, everything. Let's see, what else? Do you still use the Nuface daily or a few days a week? When I got the Nuface, I used it daily for years. And now but I also don't do just a 5-minute treatment, my friends. I will sit there and I'll do 25 minutes, but I only do it like 2 or 3 times a week now. And I think after you've been using it for a long time, I think it really does help. I think for me, it has really helped in the sagging because genetically, my family really sags here. Truly. We all have jowls hanging down here. And I have been using the Nuface for so long that I really think it has made a difference. So it's my favorite tool. I love the Nuface. We'll do one more question and we are going to end up. There's still a lot of questions here. I might do another one down the road for the questions that I didn't answer. But I'm just going to do one more now because this video probably is going to be about an hour. Okay? What safety measures do you advise to feel secure, sane after a stalker violation? Whew! For those of you who don't know, I had a stalker, and stalkers have a pattern. I was unaware of him. And now when I think about it, I used to go to a convenience store every single morning for my breakfast when I was younger. I used to get a Diet Pepsi, 2 of them, and I would get some Hostess donuts. Yep. Crazy Miss Tammy was crazy back then. That's how I ate. I was a Diet Pepsi freak, and I love sweets. I don't eat like that anymore. You all know that. I haven't for years. But when I was in there and paying, the clerk said to me, "You have a secret admirer." I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, it's a busy store, would somebody make a comment about something one day? I really didn't think anything of it, and I went, ha, 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 and out the door I went. Long story short, there were times when I was in my apartment, I was living alone at that point, when I would get up to go to the bathroom, and my bathroom, if I looked to the left, I could see my door. There was always a little crack, my entry door. There was a crack, and sometimes I would see shadows going across there. And I never thought anything about it. I thought, well, somebody's walking out in the hallway going to the next apartment, something like that. And then a couple times I would find cigarette butts out there, and I thought, well, who would put a cigarette butt out on a carpet? But they did. And then I had a storage unit below, and I was a professional makeup artist for photographers who did ads, and also for a model agency. And I also did all of the promo shots for our local news anchor women. And I had a storage unit and my huge portfolio with all of the pictures down there, and as well as all of my modeling pictures. I still have a few, but not a lot. I didn't do a lot of modeling, but I would sit for photographers every now and then. But to do the modeling, I like being behind the scene. Back to the stalker. So I had a storage unit below, and I had a tennis racket down there. I had a whole album collection, and I had my portfolio down there, as well as just things you put in a storage unit. And they went missing. And I just, I talked to some other people in the building, and they were like, no. I said, well, I don't know how they broke in because the lock was still there. I don't know how they got in there, but they got in there somehow. So the day that I became aware of my stalker, I was in the shower getting ready for work, and I walked into my bedroom and I had bamboo blinds up. You can see through them, my friends. I did not know that, okay? But you can see through them. So I got out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, and I heard something in my bedroom by the window. And I thought, what is that, a squirrel? What is it? So I walked to the window and I pulled the shade and I looked out, and there was this man's big face. He had black curly hair, big face, and he was yanking on my window to get in. The scream that came down on me wasn't even a scream, it was a curdle. And I think there was blood around it. I don't know. It was awful. It was the most terrifying moment of my life. I quickly grabbed the phone, 911, called the police. He ran to his car and took off. So they never caught him. My brother came back and sat there night after night after night. And finally, he came back to my apartment and he hopped up on a chair he had placed outside of my apartment, but I never went to that side of the building. I always entered from the other side of the building because that's where my car was parked. So number one tip, be aware of the surroundings that you live. Always check the front, back side, all your window areas to make sure that nobody's placed anything there, because a stalker, what he does, first he sees you from a distance. So it's okay to stand in the convenience store and just watch me every morning that I walk in. And then they follow you to find out where you live. And then he peeks in your window. He becomes a peeping Tom. And then, this is what the police explained to me. And then he needs to take something that's yours. So when I mentioned to them, well, these things are missing, they said he probably took them because they were yours, and he needs to touch something that was yours. He used to stand by my door. That was him standing by my door so he could hear me if I was on the phone. And that's all part of what they do. And then finally, none of that is enough, and they need to touch you. And that's the day he was breaking in. And I was one of the very lucky, blessed people, okay, because who knows what would have happened. Anyway, my brother did see him come back. We gave the number to the police. The police went to his house. He's a married man with 2 little girls. 2 little girls. How that makes me sick thinking about that. But anyway, they said we didn't catch you in the act, but if you go near her again, we will arrest you. Well, years later, I never went back to that apartment. My brother-in-law came. I got all my stuff out. And that was it. Let my lease run out, and I never went back. And I lived with my sister and her husband for a little bit until I could feel safe again. And then I got a second-floor apartment with an outside locked door so nobody could get in, and he couldn't put a ladder up to my window or anything like that. So here is my advice to you. People have a tendency to be distracted when they're in public. Put the distractions down. If you feel that you are being followed, put your distractions down. Always have something in your hand to protect yourself. I carry pepper spray. Won't apologize for it, my friends. I legally buy it. I will not apologize for it because of what I have been through. And always have your key or something in your hand ready to at least attack if somebody approaches you. And people say, oh, that's overreacting. No, we live in a crazy world, okay? We do live in a crazy world. So I would say the distractions have to be kept for when you can really, you're okay. If you're walking out in public, you shouldn't be on your cell phone. And when you're walking to your car, always check underneath. If there's a van parked next to you, always, take a look, take a second to look. You don't have to be paranoid. Just be aware of your surroundings. Do you think you are being followed? Never, ever, ever go home or to a friend's house. Go to the police department. He will not pull into that parking lot, okay? But I am far more aware of my surroundings than I have ever been. All right, so that is it, my friends. I appreciate all the questions. I hope that you enjoyed this. It did go a little long, but I've seen other people do hour ones, so I thought, what the heck, I'm going to just go for it. All right, so if you haven't already subscribed, of course, I would love for you to be an ageless beauty, so hit the subscribe button and the bell that will notify you of all the videos that I'm putting up. And in the comments section, I would like any of you to answer any question that really hit you, that you wanted to answer or share with me. Put it down in the comments because I would love to read from all of you. It helps me to get to know all of you as well. All right, my friends, until the next time, go out in the world and be happy, healthy, beautiful, and most of all, my friends, lovable. I love you all. Bisous.